Alright, leo nafikiri we are doing good, and I thank God for the gift of life, and above all for forgiving my sins. Leo nimejihami na vitu tatu. I have my remote, I have my laptop, and I also have the Bible and my notebook. And I want us to talk about, just to learn something small about why the devil wants us to sin. And mimi naamini kwamba dhambi ni mapenzi ya shetani. But the devil is the one making you to sin. But God's will is for us to live righteously. But now, the Christians wa siku hizi, Wakristo wa siku hizi, they don't differentiate the real sin and the keeping of the law. Christian anajua tu bora mimi ni keep law, sijaua mtu, sijaiba, I have not sinned. But what is the meaning of sin? How do you perceive sin? Wewe unajua aje kuhusu dhambi? Sin, God may look, you people, we people, we may look at the physical things. I keep the commandments, I keep the law. Most importantly, that the law came, dhambi, before the law coming, dhambi ilikuwa, but the law came kudhihirisha, kuonyesha kwamba dhambi iko. Before then ungefanya dhambi, ungeishi, but without law ungejua nimetenda dhambi. But because the law was introduced now, utapata mtu amekuwa, and the law states do not kill. So we live under the law, but we forget to live under the grace. Tunaishi kwa neema, chini ya neema. If you are covered by the grace, it means yes, we are sinners, we do contrary to what people may perceive us to do, but the grace is sufficient to forgive us. The grace is sufficient to take us through. The grace is sufficient to make us live another new life. But Christians today never perceive and never understand the real sin issue. The issue of sinning, it is inside, it is in the heart. Na utapata mtu kwa sababu amevaa mavazi mzuri, yeye si mtenda dhambi. Kwa sababu unatoka kwa nyumba yako, wewe unaishi maisha ya mkuru kwa Ruben, unaenda kanisa kubwa ili uwekelewe mikono kwa sababu usamehewe dhambi. The step starts by you. We are all sinners, and the devil wants us to sin. That is the truth of the matter. The devil wants us to sin. But why does the devil want us to sin? Why? And the devil is a spirit. We people, we take sin issue to be physical. You have killed. Unaanza kusema mtu ameua, unaanza kumhesabia, unaanza kumtafutia maneno, unaanza kumwekea mambo yenye haifai, mambo haiko. But what is the real issue of sin, guys? Mbona? Why the devil wants us to sin? Because dhambi ni yake. Generally dhambi ni ya shetani. And anataka sisi tutende dhambi. He wants us to sin so that we end into the hellfire. The hellfire. Because, let us read a little bit the scripture. Because hataki kuchomeka peke yake. Na hiyo ndo hellfire imepangiwa yeye. So people tend to understand sin issue as outward, physical. They don't think deeply. Hata wachungaji wa siku hizi, they don't preach the deeper meaning of sin. Wanakuja tukijuju, umeua, umefanya abortion, unakuwa tormented, unakuwa sidelined. Yeah, who knows yeye ni mwasherati? Who knows? that I'm an immoral person. Who knows? So because you just look at the outside physical, Rashid akona wanawake 10, yeah, ule mwanamke akona wanaume 20. That is what we people tend to think of, tend to know, huyu mtu ni mtenda dhambi. But the real sin issue, we sideline it, tunaiweka kando. You know, people make sin, people wanatenda dhambi, wanaasi, and no one is out of sin. Every person in the world, in the whole world, no one keeps the law. Hakuna. Yes, the law iko, but the Bible tells us if we just break one point, it means you have sinned of the whole issue. Yani, keep the commandment. Who knows the point that you are keeping? Like, worship no other gods apart from me. That is a commandment. It's a law in its nature. But you have kept the commandment, you are worshiping God. But if you miss one point, that is the sin. You sinned the whole law. And when I was thinking about this sin issue, nime regret sana, and I even cried because wanadamu, the macho yao, the common eye of a human being, anaona mtu ametenda dhambi, haangalii ndani ya moyo wake, haangalii the real sin issue, haangalii why is this person sinning, why are we living under the curse of sin, why are we living under the oppressive nature of sin. But if you miss one point, that is to mean that worship no other gods. And the issue is, if you miss that worshiping, and most of us here people, there are things that we believe in. We believe in our own vehicles. I believe in my own language command, Kiingereza. Naiamini zaidi. But the Bible, the Lord states, worship no other gods. And that is the greatest thing the devil stole away from us. The thing of blasphemy, the spirit of disbelief, you know, that is what the devil knew. Hapa nikinyang'anya huyu mtoto hata mwabudu Mungu. You sinned the whole commandment. Mimi naendanga kanisa, naekere wangu wa mikono, nafanywangu hivi, natoanga sadaka. But are you out of sin? In the whole world, is someone, nani anaweza ishi, nani anaweza epuka dhambi? Every person sins. Now, what do the devil want us to sin? Let's check from our Bible, and we know the reason why people sin and why the devil want us to sin. Let's check just from the Bible and see what are we doing. Let's start from the book of Revelation, chapter number 20, verses chapter number 20, verses 13. And the sea gave up the dead who were in it. Death and Hades gave up the dead who were in them, and they were judged, each one of them according to what they had done. The sea, moto, ziwa la moto. And 14. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. Yani, death, kifo, so automatically we say the wages of sin is death. Bado umepewa gharama ama malipo ya mwenye dhambi ni kifo. Hiyo ndi mshahara wa mwenye dhambi. So mimi ni mwenye dhambi, nimetenda dhambi, nimeadhibiwa kifo. But before, after nimeadhibiwa kifo, bado kifo chenyewe, it is thrown into the river of fire, the lake of fire, I mean. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. Yani bado nimeadhibiwa kwamba gharama mshahara wa dhambi ni mauti. Nimepewa kifo cha mauti na bado ninatupwa, bado nimeuliwa, lakini bado ninatupwa ndani ya ziwa la moto. Very painful. Who want to withstand that? Basi sisi tunajua mshahara wa dhambi, tutaenda kwa madhabahu kwa Mungu, kwa kuhani mkubwa atuombee, atuwekelee mikono, sababu unaendanga kanisa, mimi sijazini, mimi sijatenda dhambi. The wages of sin is death, but before death, after death, bado unatupa kwenye ziwa la moto. Who can withstand that? Now the devil himself comes, and the devil who had deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire. The devil himself, hallelujah, he doesn't want to die alone. Yes, he is dead naturally. He doesn't want to go alone. Hataki kukufa peke yake, anataka kufa na watu wengine, so that when he is thrown into the fire, pia wewe pia urushwe ndani ya moto huu. That means bado yeye hataki kwenda. That is in Revelation. Bado ni in Revelation 20 verses 10. And the devil who had deceived them, shetani aliyewadanganya, was thrown into the lake of fire. Kule mbele tumeambiwa mshahara wa dhambi ni mauti, na hayo mauti, mwenye ameuliwa, mwenye amekufa, huyo amepata mshahara wake wa mauti, bado anarushwa ndani ya ziwa la moto, na huko bado shetani anarushwa ndani ya ziwa la moto. And that is the purpose and the reason why the devil wants you to live in sins. He doesn't want to die alone. Alafu sisi hapa tunasema I'm okay. Guys, where the beast and the false prophet were, and they will tormented day and night forever. False prophecy, the beasts are in that lake of fire. Wewe umeasi Mungu, umetenda dhambi. Shetani anataka utende dhambi zaidi. Shetani anataka uzini zaidi, uendelee kuwa mwasharati, uendelee kuwa kutusi watu, uendelee kuishi maisha gani hayo. He himself is under captive, ako ndani ya ziwa la moto, ambalo ndani ya hilo ziwa la moto kuna beast na kuna false prophets, hao wenye tunatabiriwa. Who can withstand this? And let's read also the book of Mark 9. Mark 9. Tuone naye inasemaje kuhusu dhambi bado. Why the devil wants us to sin? Biblia yangu ileti Mark. Nimesema Mark chapter number 9. Yeah. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it will be better for him if a great millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. What? And if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Better ukuwe na mkono moja ambao kuliko kuwa na mikono zote miwili ambao mmoja umefanya ukatenda dhambi. So we are telling people nowadays, wewe umeweka sheria, hujatusi. Hiyo matusi ni mkono moja imefanya ukatenda dhambi. Hujasi. Wewe si mwasherati. Nani huyu hajai anayemtazama mke tu? Mimi Rashid, uniambie nimeweka sheria. Sheria gani hiyo nimeweka? That is what even preachers nowadays, they don't want to preach to us such gospel. Hawataki kutuhubiria hiyo injili ambayo ni moto sana. kwamba Rashid, nilikuwa natembea mahali nikaona mwanamke anapita amejenga mwili vizuri, macho yangu ikatazama, tuna jicho la tamaa, nimetenda dhambi. Mchungaji mgani anataka kuhubiria hiyo injili? Mgani anataka kuambia tutoe sadaka, ukienda kupeleka pale sadaka fulani utasamehewa dhambi? This real sin issue, if one hand causes you to sin, then chop it off. Mark 9 verses 42 to 50. In 49, the Bible says, for everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how will you make it salty again? Maisha ni mzuri, sheria ni mzuri, lakini ukivunja moja sheria, ukilose part of it, how will you gain it and say, mimi si mtenda dhambi? Yes, umeweka sheria, the law is there, we've kept the law, we've done everything. Rashid, nimeosha kikombe vizuri lakini ndani sija rinse. How will I keep that cup to be clean? Sheria ni mzuri, tumelinda sheria, the constitution. Who tells you the sub-articles zenye ziko ndani ya constitution mtu hajaivunja? The sub-article like in our constitution dictates that sovereignty and supremacy of the constitution. Who follows the constitution to the letter? Hata wasomi wa sheria. Now, we have the scribes and teachers of law. They came to Jesus, and the Pharisees. They came to Jesus and wanataka tu kumjaribu, anamuuliza, how then will I keep this? How then will I do this? Wanataka kujua, na wao ndo walimu wa sheria. Same to us, even the lawyers today. I was watching a certain documentary. Yeah, it was a documentary I was watching. And I realized that no one keeps the constitution of our republic. No, even a single person. No one keeps the constitution. No one keeps. Lakini nasema hii constitution, every article we keep it. But we have some sub-articles ambazo hata wasomi wa sheria hawajaiziweka. Even Eugene Wamalwa is a lawyer. But he is heard on live television, live, akitusi. Even our president. Even our lawyers, ambao we respect them so much. So if one loses the saltiness in it, we cannot bring back the salty itself. Then we are losing the whole thing. Yes, I keep the commandments. Yes, I keep the constitution. I follow up the constitution. The law is there just to follow. We are following. But we are breaking because we are not following it to the letter. There are some sub-articles ambazo hatuzifuati. Same thing to Sharia ama sin. Yes, you've kept the law. We are not sinning. We have not sinned. Those are the churches today. They tell you we people, we live under, we are redempted. We are under the redemption. We are forgiven. When we go to the Lord mbele yake tunamwambia Mungu nisamehe dhambi, we confess our sins, but inside the heart, the Bible tells me, when you read when David was being given the mantle, you realize that the Bible is telling us that God told the priest that, I think it was Samuel, that do not look at the outside appearance. I rejected him because of the outside appearance. You are looking at him because ako na mwili, ako energetic, amesoma, amefanya hivi. But me, I reject that. I look inside the heart. Personally, Rashid, I've sinned. Yes, it is a general sin issue of I've committed adultery. Committing adultery in nowadays, people think of marrying many wives, moving around, loitering around with many wives, with many people's girls and whatsoever. But the sin, the real thing is inside the heart. What is the real thing inside the heart? You are walking with many wives. That is the sin issue. Do not commit adultery. Point one. The whole thing is do not commit adultery. But we look at this person and we suppress this person, tunamfanya yeye ni mtenda dhambi, tunamchukia, tunamtenga, tunamweka kando. But the real issue is, have we sought the issue ambayo iko ndani ya moyo wake? Wewe mwenye unasema kwamba this person has committed adultery because you've seen with your naked eyes. With your naked eyes umeona tu Rashid ametenda dhambi, ametembea na wanawake 10, ametembea na wanawake ya mtu, ametembea. But inside the heart of yourself, unachambua dhambi yenyewe ya committing adultery one by one, every point by other. Unatambua inside this committing adultery kuna sub articles, kuna sub issues, articles, sub articles, sub clauses and clauses. Do you really differentiate the things ambazo ziko ndani ya the whole issue of committing adultery? The clause ambayo inasema ya kwamba never commit adultery, sub clauses and sub articles, it is an article, the whole thing, and we call it the commandment, we call it the constitution, we call it the law. Then because you've seen someone walking with a lady and you say this person has committed adultery, that is what now these people want to hear, want to listen. It's not because people have accepted to follow the spiritual nature, because sin is spiritual. People have accepted to look at someone because this person has committed sin. This person has committed the outside sin that we can see, the physical thing we can know, we can see, but we don't have that knowledge of sin. Yes, I've gone before the Lord, I've confessed the sin before the Lord. Have I solved the sin issue? Nimesuluhisha dhambi? I still sin. People want to solve the sin issue as bringing an offering to the Lord, to the altar. Have I solved the sin issue? People want to follow the commandments, want to follow the law. Wanataka wafuate sheria. They are living under the law. They are not living under the grace. And that is the sin issue we are talking about today. In our churches and in the modern churches today, they preach about the sin issue. You realize that there are many things in the Bible, biblical things, wanaziruka, because they are not telling us the true nature, what the Bible tells us about the sin. Mtu atakwambia kwamba Rashid amevunja sheria. Sheria yenyewe ina nini? Sub articles of the law. Because Rashid has stood somewhere, amevaa longi imeraruka, ametenda dhambi. In public, Rashid ametusi mtu, ametenda dhambi. Have I solved? You arrest this person, unamweka kwa fine, unamkejeli, mnafanya nini? Have you solved the sin issue? Umesuluhisha dhambi? Either way, you have arrested this person, umemweka cell, umemfunga miaka. After some few years umemrelease. Have you solved the issue? Unamsuppress, unamwambia utaishi chini ya sheria. In that akivunja sheria, ametenda dhambi. Have we solved the sin issue? And that is where we fail as human nature. What does it make us to be now living sin-free? It is only you people ambao unatuambia kwamba Rashid, follow the law, follow the commandment, follow the law. Have you solved that sin? Kesho nitatenda dhambi. I still live under sin. Kama it's committing the adultery, I still commit adultery because you telling me to live. Now ninaishi tu nikiwa chini ya hiyo sheria. Because sheria imekuja kunionyesha jinsi dhambi iko, kuleta elimu, kuleta knowledge about sin. So I'll live under the law, but still I will sin. Have I solved the sin issue? And you find people nowadays, we run after nature. Tunaona mtu anaishi hii maisha. People are after money. People are after sisemi pesa ni mbaya. People are after looking for wealth, to be famous, inside the popularism, being famous, having money. The sin is inside. Sijaua, nilipata pesa kwa njia mzuri, sijaua. Hii kuua imebeba nini? Ama unaona tu kuua kama hiyo tu iko juu? Lazima ndani ya hiyo kitu kuna the unseen thing, unseen issue. Mi babangu nyumbani anasema, unasikia anakuambia, I'm not after what you consume, what you give out. What is inside your heart is what you give out. The sin issue. Have we solved the sin issue? Have we solved the issue of sin? We still sin day in, day out. You know, after nimeishi chini ya sheria, nimefungwa, nikitoka nje bado nitakanyaga mtu. Nitaangalia mwanamke fulani amepita pale amejenga. Vijana nowadays you talk of amejenga. Mvulana ameunga. Msichana unasema we look at the body size. Na unamtamani kwa jicho la tamaa lako tu. You have sinned. But you people wait me outside there. You want me to walk with someone. Then you say Rashid ni mwasherati. I use Rashid as an example. Sorry. Rashid ni mwasherati. Have you solved the sin issue of Rashid being mwasherati? Na wewe ambaye umemtazama, kuna bado dhambi ndani yako. So the devil wants us to continue sinning so that we die with him. We will also be part and parcel of where he's going, we be there. We are encircled in the same group. The devil being the king of the sin. So that when we are thrown in the lake of fire, when the devil is thrown in the lake of fire, we are also thrown with him. I don't want us to talk about now the solution. Have we solved the solution? Are we having the solution for that? Nani Kenya hii haitendi dhambi? Nani dunia mzima hatendi dhambi? Even the priests who with the collars, wako na kola mpaka hapa, but they sin. Lakini wao ndo katika madhabahu wanatuombea kwamba tusamehewe dhambi. It is in the heart. It is unseen. Hakionekani. Dhambi hionekani. Mtoto kwa nyumba akikosa, utapiga mtoto, lakini ndani ya mtoto huyo utakuwa umeondoa dhambi. Wewe, Brayo, uache kutenda dhambi. Umesuluhisha hiyo. Guys, let's live with reality. Pastor wetu ameniambia niende church aniombee msamaha wa dhambi. Yes, there is that process of forgiveness of sin. To be forgiven the sin, we have a process. First of all, you need to have knowledge about sin. You need to confess the sins. We need to offer sacrifice, that is a burnt offering. Then when you offer that, the high priest will come, will lay the hand of that on that offering. That it means the sin transfer. You transfer the sin to that offering. Then you burn it or you kill it or whatsoever you do. But have we known what the real issue, the real sin? It is between me and you to know the sin is inside me. It's not what people see. It's not how Rashid walked with many girls, or how Rashid have fought in public, how Rashid has insulted people in public, how Rashid is not worshiping God, how Rashid is not going to church. Yes. Sio kwamba because I don't go to church that I've sinned. And that is what common people do. Even the churches today, as we go to church, we have such gospel we are not preached. Hatuhubiriwi injili ya dhambi because I'll run out. Injili ya dhambi because I'll run away. And the battle continues. The battle continues. After church, you come back, you sin. Have we solved the sin issue? Even shaving style, ni dhambi. Because I've seen a certain girl amenyoa style kwa kichwa, huyu naye ni nani? You start judging. Huyu naye anakaaje? Huyu ni malaya. You have sinned. Guys, we are just fighting the battle superficially, kijuju tu. But the real inside our hearts, we have sinned. Sin issue continues generation after generation. Babangu alioa wake wengi, generation after generation. It comes to be evident. And we live under the curse of sin. Because the devil wants us to live under that, so that we create that thing of disbelief. We don't believe and trust in God. We end up being thrown into the hellfire with him, into the lake of fire. Kwani akose wafuasi? So lazima shetani akuwe na wafuasi wake. And we human beings, the Bible tells us that we are born of our father who is a sinful nature, who is a deceiver, ambaye ni mdanganyifu. Baba yetu ni mdanganyifu. Na tumezaliwa ndani ya hiyo generation ya baba yetu kuwa mdanganyifu. So we are born in the sinful nature, the umbilical cords of our forefathers, because our father is a deceiver. We are born under the sinful nature. Mimi sina dhambi. Mimi sitendi dhambi. Nafuata sheria. And yet our father, this gospel is very hard. And that is why I need us to understand the walls of the heart. Let's understand this. Every person is a sinner. And that is why the Bible tells us that we are all fallen short of His glory. We have sinned. We have no knowledge. Hatuna elimu tu, hatuna ufahamu kuhusu dhambi. And that is why we just judge people outside superficially. We have seen someone wearing ragged trouser. Mtu ni malaya, mtu manze ni mafia. Manze, is our hearts clean? The walls of the heart. What enters our heart? The devil is still there. And even when the devil was among the angels, Lucifer, that was the angel of praise. So when other angels threw this guy down, even they pitied at the world and said, ole wenu, hata duniani kuna wafuasi wangu, kuna watu wanaonipenda. But the devil already is on the ground. The devil is already in the world. So dhambi, tunafanya dhambi in, out. Don't judge someone because he has done any sin. He has sinned before the Lord. The sin, you might be judging that person because you see. But inside his or her heart, the person has no sin. God has judged him or her differently. Right? But because we see people, manze huyu mtu anaongeanga shit, we start fighting the shit talking in him. We don't fight the spirit that is in him that brings out that shit. We don't look for a solution to get rid of the spirit that is in this person. Inside this person is what precedes what this person does. The doings of this person, what he does or what she does, it is because of the spirit that is inside him or her that comes out. Now, what goes out, fruits, the fruits, matunda ya mwenye dhambi, ya roho. Ndani ya roho inakuja dhambi. Dhambi inatoka na inatoa matunda yake. Matunda ya dhambi, wizi. Tunapiga huyo mtu, tunaua. Tunasema tumemaliza. Have you solved the sin issue? Mti umepandwa mahali, mti wa maembe. Ukimea maembe, unagonga nini? Si unagonga maembe, ukivuna maembe ukienda naye. Unaacha mti yenyewe. Mti huo wenyewe kuna ndani kuna chembe za kubeba rotuba, nutrients and whatsoever. Have we solved the issue? We have to get rid of that mwembe. So the sin issue is inside the man, and the man will never ever live away from sin. Hakuna mwanadamu ataishi bila kutenda dhambi. Kila mwanadamu atatenda dhambi. Kila mwanadamu ni mtumwa wa dhambi. We have never solved, even the churches today, they never solved the sin issue. Never. It is because the fruit of the sin is still there. Mbegu ya dhambi bado iko. We live under curses. We are cursed. People look at us because we don't associate with the other people. They call us betrayers, traitors. So the traitor habit is what people fight, but they don't fight the spirit that is inside us. They don't kill the spirit that is inside us. What makes us trade? What makes us betray? Because nimeona ule msee, manze. What is that will make us get out of sin? We will look at the ways of solving sin, yes, but sin will never end the world. Will never end from this world. Sin will never be rid. Sin will never end. Every day, every hour, every minute we sin. So never judge. And that is what churches do today, because you can go to the church and even the pastor can look at you and judge you. Who is that pastor? Kwani yeye ni nani? Kwani yeye ni Mungu? Mwenye atajua wewe si mtenda dhambi. Atakujaji because amekuona. Rastas come to our churches nowadays. When Rastas come, the first thing, the whole issue tunaanza kuwajaji because wamesonga rasta. Bila kujua these are the most humble people. Nowadays if Rashid ataanza kuweka rasta, hata akienda nyumbani atadharauliwa, atawekwa kwa kikundi. Ameenda Illuminati, ameenda vitu gani, sijui nini, Freemasonry, whatsoever. Because you've seen me. Yani umeniona tu venye ninaka, venye niko, anza kusema huyu ni mtenda dhambi. So what I want us to understand, to learn from this issue is, let us articulate the issue inside the sin issue, inside sin. Let us create the walls of the heart and think, contemplate, think critically, think deeply about sin issue, and we will realize what sin carries. It is not the sin that we see outside, because people have committed crimes like robbery, and we judge them as thieves. People commit adultery, and we judge them as adulterers. People don't go to church, and we judge them as their evildoers. They don't go to church because they don't worship God. Regardless of what, let us not judge. But let us articulate the sin issue. Let us understand it first. Let us get to know what really sin is, what it entails, and what God talks about sin. And when we need to understand what God talks about sin, let us read this, the Bible. Let us read about the Bible. What does the Bible tell us about sin? What does the Bible instruct us about sin, about commandments, about the law? What does it entail? Let us not just judge. Let us not just look at people and say, "Oh, you know, tender than." We have to understand. We have to learn more about the sin. I tell you, when I read about sin, I realized no one is sin-free. Hata na mwenye dhambi wacha atende zaidi. No one is sin-free. Every person is a sinner. Every guy sins. Everybody sins. But let us understand about the sin issue, what God talks about the sin, what God instructs us to do, and what are we supposed to do to get the solution of sin. But people say, after nimetenda dhambi nitaenda niombe msamaha. And we keep on sinning because that commandment or that law tells us, sheria inatuambia tuombe msamaha. And we continue sinning. Let us understand the sin, contemplate on the sin issue, understand and think about it deeply, consume it, absorb, bring back it like chewing card. Ujiulize, dhambi ni nini? Ni nini maana ya kutenda dhambi? Ni nini inahusu dhambi? And when God gave us the law, the commandment of 10 commandments, when he gave it to Moses, what did God wanted us to do? Yes, there are 10. But can 10 commandments just write the whole book? So every commandment has a point. A commandment that, for example, tells us about the fellowship between me and God, relationship between me and God, the first 4 commandments, I think. Every point has something ambayo unaweza soma, ujisikize, uwaze, nikisoma sheria, nikisoma dhambi, inanihusu nini kufanya, inanipasa nini? Think about it. Think about it. Dhambi. And I did the whole issue of sin without thinking critically, without having the mind of God, the mindset, the blueprint of your life, without having it in full. We miss a mark. Even pastors in the whole world, they don't see if there is a pastor by ameweka sheria. I mean, hajaitenda dhambi. They are keeping the law, but they are not living under sin free. Yes, they keep the commandment, they keep the law. Pastor kila Sunday anaenda church. Ana keep sheria kutoka morning to Monday to Saturday. Yeah, ako church anaombea washirika wake, anaombea nini. He or she is keeping the law. But he is not living under the grace. He's a pastor, yes. And he's a human being like you, yes. He's not keeping the sin-free issue. Anaishi chini ya dhambi. Anateseka tu na dhambi. Yeye anakuja tu kuzika dhambi. Na pia yeye atazikwa tu akiwa na dhambi. Until we understand the real sin issue. And that is where we are leading to. We are going to understand, we are going to learn more about the sin issue and the solution to it. Let's look for a solution for the sin issue. Of course, there are many solutions. What people go to church, they worship God, they do everything, they offer sacrifices to God, they offer to sadaka wanatoa, they keep the commandments, they keep the law of the church. Saa tatu yafaa ukwe church, and we do that, but we are not solving the issue. So in our next topic, we will learn more about the solution to sin, and we will understand what the law brought us to do, what is law, the contemplation, the spiritual issue in it, the spiritual issue in the sin, the spiritual issue in forgiveness of sins. I just go to ninakuja tu kukuomba msamaha, nimekutenda dhambi, nimekutendea dhambi, na kuja kukuomba msamaha na kuambia nimekukanyaga na kuambia sorry, sitarudia tena. Yes, but have I removed that sin issue in my heart? No. We will discuss it deeply, and that is what most of the churches today are not doing. Even preachers today will tell you, we seek for forgiveness. Even bear an example of when you are seeking for salvation, you're being prayed for, and when you hear the pastor praying, you realize pastor is talking of msamehe dhambi zake, but in your heart akikuombea msamehe dhambi zake, umeacha uasherati. Hiyo roho ya uasherati umeacha. Msamehe dhambi za wizi umeacha. Very few people confess the sins they have done. Hata mchungaji mwenyewe akikuja kwa madhabahu hawezi sema ni jana nilipigana, jana nilitusi baby mama, jana nilitusi mtoto wangu, jana niligombeza. Those are issues. Anger is an issue of sin. So guys, let us understand the sin issue. Let us not just rush to issues and then we discuss them, we judge, we make steps. But let us understand the real sin issue. We contemplate it, we understand it, we think in it deeply. We come up with a solution for the sin. And of course, we cannot get the real solution of sin, because we will get to understand biblically that the real solution for sin is you to die, to shed blood. Who want to shed blood because of being forgiven the sin? Hata pastor wako akufe kwa sababu ya dhambi. Pastor wako ametenda dhambi, ametusi mtu, because hata tu kutusi mtu ni dhambi. Ametusi mtu, then sheria inasema kwamba tuue huyo mtu. Who will withstand? Tuue ndo sin, dhambi itakuwa imeisha. So we will tend to understand that. Just keep watching, subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, and we will keep updated on what every aspect of life, both physically, and what I also do is I do counseling. You will also understand more things about guiding and counseling. I can counsel. So it's a series of issues in my YouTube channel. When you just subscribe, like, and share it, and God will bless you. Thank you so much. May you have a very fantastic evening.